All right. So, greetings, everyone. It's been a while, but I found something of particular interest to me and what we cover on this channel. This image that you see was blatantly stolen from the social media of Carl Benjamin, or Sargon of Akkad, as you may know him. And it was, of course, highlighting the difficulty which men find in dating online today. Now, this post, as you're going to read if you would like, you can just pause it whenever you want. This post goes over how it is a female saw it and how taking over her brother's social media revealed to her that, guys have it rough when it comes to dating online, and that's a no shit, no brainer to most of us here. Like, we understand that, men do not have it easy, whether it's dating online or elsewhere, but she did not exactly anticipate how bad it is for us men online in particular, especially on dating apps, specifically on dating apps. And I'm going to talk about that a little more, because I actually met Mrs. Carnal online, but it was not through a dating app. It was on a Facebook group. So, setting that aside, we're going to talk about a little bit about the dynamic that is going on here in this post. They're talking about dating apps like Tinder, Bumble. I'm going to assume Plenty of Fish is on there as well. And about how she, as a female, experienced a much higher rate of interaction and success when it came to matching with other men and I have to throw this in there. She is, as a female, as a woman, far more interested in things that men are not interested in. Things like education level, things like salary level. She wanted to match with men on those parameters, whereas I'm going to speak from personal experience. Men are not nearly so damn picky. We really don't give a damn what the girl we're talking to on the other side, how much money she makes. That is not a factor in our decision making. In any way, shape, or form. And yet, despite the lack of pickiness, her poor brother, who is 6 foot tall, if I recall correctly, it was either 165 in weight, which equates to about a beanpole. He's not a overweight, obese individual. She claims that he's good looking, and as she's doing this for her brother. I'm going to take her word for it, because sisters and women in general who are close to you tend to be the most critical of you. So, I'm going to take her word for it. I'm going to assume that she is not, just dressing this up for her brother's sake, because that's not what sisters do. So, assuming that she is not lying, fairly reasonably, in my mind, she tried to interact on social media, dating applications, on behalf of her brother, and it was predictably abysmal. And I just want to get this message out here. Gentlemen, you should not be trying to find women on dating sites, because they don't care what you look like. They don't care about the goodness of your character. They don't care about what you can offer as a man. They care about how much money you make, how educated you are, and how well they feel you're a match for them in other areas. So let's get that right off the bat. Meeting women on dating sites or in an online forum catering specifically to dating is not in your best interest. You need to go out in real life and meet women. You need to put yourself out there. You need to show that you have charisma, gravitas, a magnetic personality, something that is attractive to them in the real world that doesn't translate and will never translate on a dating app. Because, dating apps, you can say and do whatever you want on a profile. Women are not stupid. Women know this. And so they look for things that it's going to be harder for you to fake. Things like your income, things like your scholastic achievements. All of that stuff is going to be weighed far more heavily. And your looks will get you nowhere. This should not. Your experience on dating sites, dating apps, should not be any indication as to your worth or rating of attractiveness. we've seen this numerous times. Women way overvalue themselves when it comes to these dating apps because they get a lot more attention on them. Now, as to how a man should interact online, one, ditch the dating apps. Get off Bumble, get off Tinder, get off of Plenty of Fish, get off of all of them. None of them are going to do you any good. I would love these dating apps to be nothing more than forums for women to talk about how they can't find any more men on them, because only losers should be using them. What you need to do, and this is honest to God, if you want to find a woman, go into a group that interests you, whatever it is, whether it's hunting, fishing, guns, whether it's roleplay, whether it's nerd shit, whether it's comics, whether it's anything of that nature. And I know this is going to be a shocking piece of advice. Literally, just be yourself. Literally, just put yourself out there. Be shitpost, crack jokes, literally put yourself into that profile. You will attract like people. You can't lie. You can lie and cover up pretty much everything else, but your personality, your demeanor, your tone, your syntax online, that can't be faked. It can't be hidden, and it's going to attract someone eventually. And that's how I met Mrs. Carnal. We were in a singles group for our particular faith, and we just naturally gravitated towards one another. She was a shit poster. She was a not so low-key lover of memes and other such nonsense, and we just kind of gravitated over that, and our personality sparked, and we decided, hey, this is worth a try. So we did, and it's been working so far. Now, you're not going to get that experience on a dating app, ever. Ever. There's just no formula for it. However, I'm going to give one other piece of advice, because it's important, because no one's going to tell it to you. When you're in a forum like that, you need to understand that all the women of that forum, whether they are or not, your assumption needs to be that all of the women are talking. That they have their own secret enclave of secret combinations and secrecy. That they're going to share every single interaction that they have had with you and every other guy on that forum. Because that's how women operate. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not certainly saying it's moral, but it is reality, and you do need to accept that. So here is a rule of engagement for you. Do not ever send the first DM. Don't ever send the first private message. Wait for them to contact you. And trust me, if there's a particular girl that keeps posting that catches your eye, that's caught your fancy, and you are in their replies, like on a comment thread, and you keep posting memes, you keep being very affable, yet distant, and you wait for her to realize, hey, this guy is obviously interested in me, but he hasn't DM'd me yet, you're going to stand out. You're going to stand out because every other Tom, Dick, and Harry has already sent that first DM, and she's getting burnt out. But yet you're the interesting fucker who has yet, for whatever reason, not contacted her yet. You are, by default, scarce material. Now, that might be a little, shall we say, a little more subterfuge than you might want to anticipate, but you gotta understand, there is value to making yourself scarce at first. So, understand that you need to play the game, play it well, and make sure that you are giving yourself the best foot forward, because let's face it, making yourself like every other guy on the forum isn't going to work. I mean, if it worked for you before, you wouldn't be where you are now. So try something a little different. Hold off on the DM messages. Just engage with the content, engage with the hobby, engage with the forum, and engage with the ladies that you're interested in. But don't make it personal until they make that first step and say, hey, this guy hasn't contacted me yet. I want to know what's up. And they will, because women are egotistical that way. They will wonder, hey, I've seen every other guy in my DMs. Why not this one? Why? Is he getting it somewhere else? Does he already have that attention catered? And as far as they're concerned, the answer is very much maybe. But it's, you and I need to develop that relationship before I disclose anything further. So, that's how you're going to hook women in through the online forum. Now, I'm going to add a confession here. Mrs. Carnal was a female that I contacted first. She was the only one. However, there were several women in that forum that I engaged with where I had to let them contact me. Like, there was just no other way. And it wasn't until the other women started realizing, hey, this guy's for real, you have to contact him first, that, that I was able to make that move. So, take this for what it is. Go put yourselves out there. Not just online, but in real life. And the only reason I'm giving the online discussion any credence whatsoever is because you need to know how to navigate those particular waters. That's unavoidable. However, for real life, you do need to go out wherever you need to go. You need to go dancing. You need to go to the bar. You need to go to the club. But if you... And that's just for practice, to be honest. It's not a good scene. It's not a good place to find people, period. No one you meet at the club or the bar is going to be worth a damn. But you do need social practice. You do need an outlet to talk to people, to be able to not make every conversation this deep philosophical dialogue. Because that's not how human beings work, especially socially. That we are far more mundane. And we do need to learn how to access conversation at that level. So that's where you go to practice. Now, if you want to catch someone in real life, go to church. And if you're not going to go to church, do it through a movement you believe in. Whether that's politics, whether that's other social movements, whether that's activism, you should find someone of like mind in your personal activism, in spaces and places you find relevancy and what you are personally invested in. And no, your comic book hobby, your wargaming hobby, that shit don't count. You need to find something more meaningful. And if you haven't, find it. And the woman will follow. That's all, guys. Stay carnal and God bless. Bye-bye.